A lot of people think the Raiders are going to take a running back in round one, and they might. We'll see. But I wouldn't be surprised if they wound up going with a guy like Membu, the offensive tackle, instead.
The Las Vegas Raiders are having one of the most underrated off seasons that I've seen in a very long time. And the one thing that you'll notice about these list of guys that they've added, only 3 of them cost more than $11 million in total. And then a bunch of them are just 1 year prove-it type of deals. Eric Stokes, Landon Roberts, Lonnie Johnson, Raheem Mostert, Devin White, all these guys, Leki Fotu, right? These guys are 1 year prove-it, low risk, high reward opportunities, but they're not done yet.
It's no surprise to me that I'm mocked to go there, being that the recent hires and Pete Carroll, we know his coaching style, we know he likes to run the ball, likes a great running back, and also other people that they've brought on their staff like Chip Kelly and Deland McCullough and a great running back coach. But yeah, it's been great conversations. Obviously meeting with the GM as well in Spy Tech, and they want to bring in great people, right? Obviously, I'm a great player, but they want you to be a fit as a person as well. And I think it's, well known by them that I'd be a great, fit as a person and player. So it's been great conversations.
And the biggest question right now for us as a team is, who is the best fit at number 6? Who is John Spytek looking to add in this year's NFL draft, but who fits in what Pete Carroll wants to do, and maybe even what Chip Kelly offensively wants to do within that offense as well? And, everywhere you look, you see Ashton Jeanty. Is that a good fit for both Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly on the offensive side of the ball? Yes. I mean, the way they schematically run their systems, Ashton Jeanty just is a no-brainer. But does the defense want to make an addition to their side of the ball? John Spytek and the Raiders are about to make a massive move. And just when everyone thought Ashton Jeanty was that power move, we started to hear these rumors about the Raiders considering drafting Armand Membu at number 6. I mean, this is one of my favorite tackles in this year's NFL draft. The man is an absolute monster. And sadly enough, when you look at the way this team ranked last season, you could tell they were dead last in the NFL in yards per carry. They were dead last in rush yards per game, almost dead last in rushing touchdowns per game. They also were sacked number 20th in the NFL at 7.3% of the time. The quarterback was either under pressure or getting sacked. That is not good. So maybe adding an offensive lineman in the first round and coming back in the second round and drafting a Travion Henderson could be the way to go as well. But that's something we need to figure out. Now, I'm not going to lie. I love the way John Spytek and Pete Carroll and this coaching staff are communicating, right? And we heard an interview with John Spytek. I'm going to show you that clip here in a second. You could tell this group is tight. They want to make sure they're making the right move. And watch or listen to what he has to say.
Yeah, super important that there's a lot of communication between the scouting department and the coaching staff at this time of year. I've got obviously a lot of experience in the draft, and the best players that we've picked throughout my 10 years at the different places I've been, usually everybody was in line with. Everybody was excited to get that player and that person into the building. And where there's disagreement or there's some unrest or differing opinions on a player, often that's a good sign that maybe that's not the player for you. And the only way you're going to know that is if you communicate, up front, you have respectful conversations, you have direct conversations, and people can feel kind of like they're in a safe space to lay it out there for you and be like, hey, listen, it's okay to say I don't like this guy. He might just not be a good player for us, even if I like him. And there's enough good players and people in every draft, and in this draft in particular, that we can be selective and we can be a little bit greedy with what we're at, and it's our job and it's our opportunity to find the best ones to bring to Raider Nation.
And I honestly feel like this is what the Raiders have been missing. A lack of communication, a lack of an agreement, right? You need all these guys to be on the same page in terms of who you're drafting. And some teams don't have that. Some teams, a GM will be like, I like this guy. And the DC is like, I don't really like that guy. Or the linebacker coach doesn't really like, but they take him anyway. And then it ends up being absolutely hectic. So yes, agreement, communication is top priority for this team. But now we got to figure out which one of these players actually fit, one, and two, do they agree on that type of player? Now, before we actually dive into a little bit of a mock draft, I guess you could say, do me a favor, guys, and comment down below what you think the Raiders should do at number 6. Very tough position. There's a lot of guys, probably you guys love. Let me know what you guys do. Also, hit the like button if you want more of these videos. We're going to be covering the entirety of the draft for the Raiders, so make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. It is free. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. And lastly, comment down below, P2, if you want an entire mock draft video for the Raiders. I can do it. A 7-round mock draft. If you guys want it, let me know. Let's dive back in. Now, at number 6, there are 3 guys I think the Raiders are absolutely locked in on. I think one of them is clear as day, Ashton GT. When you look at his numbers, he has consistently been one of the most dynamic players that this game has ever seen. I mean, this season, over 2,500 yards with 29 touchdowns. Guys, that is unbelievable. Okay, so this is a guy I think you can lock in right now. That's who I would personally take, but I wouldn't hate it if they actually took Membo. I think Membo is probably the safest guy to draft at tackle this season. And when you look at the, kind of depth that this offensive line has right now, obviously you can get better. You can always get better on offensive line. And I think allowing the 20th most sacks in the NFL and, being the worst run offense in the NFL, you could always add a tackle. I mean, this was a guy who had an 87.6 run blocking grade, an 86.6 pass blocking grade, and was actually really good in zone and gap schemes. I think this is another guy who I would not be mad at all about. Now, the thing about him, he hasn't been as consistent. And then from there, the last guy I would think about drafting would be Tet. Now, the reason I might draft Tet would be because I think he is a day one starting wide receiver. He adds a new dynamic outside of Trey Tucker and Jacoby Myers. You still have Brock Bowers. That wide receiver core alongside Geno Smith would be amazing. And DK Metcalf and Tedero McMillan have similar games. 50-50 balls. They can go up there and get some big-time catches, right? But also you still have that flexibility of coming back in the second round and maybe drafting a running back. So, for example, let's just say we took Membo in the first round here. Then we go to the second round. Now, who is here for us to get in the second round? Let's see. Well, you still got Cam Scatterbo. I really like Travion Henderson or Quinshawn Judkins because they played alongside Chip Kelly in that system. Caleb Johnson's a good running back. I love Dylan Sampson. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Dylan Sampson is an absolute unit, right? But there's a lot of guys here that we really, really like. So maybe even in the third round, you can come back and draft one of these guys if you wanted to go, let's just say, wide receiver, Jaden Higgins. Oh man, I would absolutely love that as well. Kyle Williams is there. I mean, there's so much opportunity to get better. Overall, I think in this position here, I would probably draft Travion Henderson, and I would call it a day. I would add a day one starting offensive lineman in Membu, and then I would add a guy in Travion Henderson. Now, they don't like Travion Henderson because Amos is a higher position or higher rank. I don't know. But either way, I'm all in. If you're able to do that, or Tet, Gene T, and then maybe Luther Burden, I think if you can add a wide receiver and running back, it could be massive. Alright, with that being said, guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the family, turn on post notifications, and let me know what you guys think about what John Spytek and the Raiders should do in this year's NFL draft. Just wanted to keep you guys updated with the Membo news, and yeah, there's some good things happening. Also some more free agency, maybe a trade rumor going around right now. We could break that down if you guys want. I'll see you guys then. Peace.